So Cold Iron Studios released a roadmap for Aliens Fireteam Elite, where they gave us a preview of what we can expect for the rest of 2021 and 2022. Along with that, they also did a developer Q&A, where they gave us some more details about what we can expect from Aliens Fireteam in the future. Hey guys, this is Chris with B&B Gaming. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing amazing today. Thank you for all your support, all your likes, all your shares. A special shout out to all you guys who take the time to answer comments in the comments. I wish I could get around to them a lot faster than I do, but I do try to answer them. But again, I appreciate you guys stepping in and helping out. Definitely appreciate that. To start with, I'm going to read the blog post just to set the stage of what we can expect from Aliens Fireteam Elite in 2021 and 2022. In the blog post it says, AFE Year 1 Roadmap. You can look forward to Season 2 before the end of this year, so November or December. With it, we will introduce a new game mode as well as a new feature, weapons, attachments, challenge cards, and a variety of cosmetics. If you enjoy Horde mode, we're sure you will enjoy our next new game modes. In this game mode, you can expect twists to the session length, goals, and the tools you will have available, as well as the cool new environments they will be set in. Our focus with Aliens Fireteam is first on bringing quality of life improvements to the game that will add more enjoyment to the game's existing content. These new features shouldn't drastically alter the way the game is currently played, but we hope you will greatly enjoy them all the same. We'll share more details as we approach the release of each of these free season updates, so stay frosty and keep an eye out. And of course, as we've mentioned before, we will also make quality of life updates and necessary changes between the big seasonal updates. Now, one thing they wanted to make clear in the developer Q&A is that everything they're working on is not on the roadmap currently. According to Higgs, he said, if it wasn't clear 100%, there are things that we are working on that are not on the roadmap, and we'll be updating the roadmap with more specifics as we announce them. So starting with Season 2, it says we're going to get a new game mode, new features, 4 new weapons, 10 or more new attachments, 10 or more new cosmetics, and 10 or more new challenge cards. Now, one thing you're probably noticing is that it doesn't mention any new campaign or horde maps. And I was curious about this, and I'm not the only one. The whole community is like, hey, we're the horde maps, right? So I asked Higgs on Twitter about this. Hey Higgs, will the upcoming seasons, including Season 2, have new campaign missions and or horde maps? In the blog post it says, as well as the cool new environments they will be set in. It sounds like new maps, but I just wanted to double check. Higgs was awesome and replied and said, they are not new campaigns, much more similar to the Horde game mode we released at launch. Now, they also addressed this a few times in the dev Q&A. For example, here from Cov4Cs, he writes, are more maps being planned for future DLC expansions? Here Zinc, one of the developers at Cold Iron Studios, replies and says, there are things we're working on that aren't on the roadmap. So what does that mean? We are getting more campaigns? We are getting more maps? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, I would rather they wouldn't be so cryptic, because I know from experience gamers don't like that. Cyberpunk! So I guess we'll wait and see. My guess is there's been a pretty big community feedback on this that we want more campaign, we want more horde maps. Personally, I'm excited about all these new features and everything. I love Aliens Fireteam Elite. I can't wait to play more of it. But in that same vein, we could use more campaigns and maybe 1 or 2 horde map that would just kind of switch it up a bit. Well, anyways, back to the roadmap here for season number 3. It says we're going to get a new kit, so a new class, a new feature, 4 new weapons, 10 plus new perks. We're also going to get 10 or more new cosmetics, plus 10 or more new challenge cards. And it says this is going to come out Q2 2022, which is March, April, May 2022, which is a long time. Hopefully they can get that out a little sooner. Well, anyways, Season 4 says, again, we're going to get a new game mode, a new feature, 4 new weapons, 10 or more new attachments again, 10 or more new cosmetics, 5 or more new challenge cards. And this says Q3 2022, which is July, August, September release window. Now, as far as the dev Q&A, I put this into 3 different categories: working on and coming soon. The second category, may work on / could be added in the future. And finally, not coming or not working on. Category number 1, working on, coming soon, improving the stumble mechanic. Here Azu Vector asks, have you considered applying friction to enemies that go into a stumble state, so that when they're stumbled and sliding on the ground, they take more of a penalty by having their closing speed distance with the player reduced slightly? They replied and said, we know about the stumble issues and we agree we need to do something about it. We've been playtesting some changes to how it works that we expect will greatly improve stumble as a whole. Another feature they addressed was quick play. Here Cov4Cs asks, will quick play be updated to signal in the lobby what level they will be thrown into so they can prepare accordingly? And what he's talking about here is basically, as you play quick play, you have no idea what mission you're going to play, so it's impossible really to put on some of the challenge cards. Here they reply and say, we're aware of this and it was an oversight when we were trying to get the feature out to you guys ASAP. A solution is upcoming. Another feature they addressed, or I guess option, the Aliens Fireteam Elite official soundtrack availability. Here Stupid Sandwich, awesome name, basically asked when it's going to be available, or is it going to be available. Here Higgs replied and said, Austin and I are working on getting the OST into your hands and ears. When we have more details, we'll be sure to let you know. Another question asked about year 2, so the next season of Aliens Fireteam Elite, is it coming? Are they working on it? Here Bakula asks, in the roadmap you said year 1 roadmap. Does this mean you'll consider developing the game another year if things go well? Here Higgs replied and said, yeah, it's not the forever roadmap. It's only year 1, and we are already starting to spin up discussions what year 2 could look like. There's so much cool free content coming out during year 1, which is now, so we are focusing on that right now. Another possible feature coming is for leveling. Here Hemi asked, have you considered getting rid of the level 20 cap and moving towards a more sustainable leveling system like Payday 2's Infinity system, or is the level 22 cap final? Here Zinc replied and said, it's going to be a while before it's in your hands, but we are looking at and working on a couple of new things that will help add a much longer tail for those of you like me who like leveling things up. So to me it sounds like a feature that might be coming next year. Or who knows, it might be under the quality of life category and come out in between the seasons. Personally, that's one of my favorite things, is leveling things up in games. But it has to be a meaningful level. It can't be just like, now you get another star on your gun that does nothing. It has to be like, significant. So we'll see what they do here. Another thing they addressed was photo mode. JLGB92 asked about a photo mode. Here Higgs replied and said, we aren't planning a photo mode, but we are going to put an option to remove all the HUD UI entirely, which is something that players and photographers have asked for. So you won't have to rely on challenge cards to get rid of the HUD for those nice clean shots. Now that is a dedicated photographer right there, man. Running challenge cards just so you can get photos, pretty cool. Another feature they talked about is a completion tracker. A user asked, has any thought been given to adding a completion tracker that is accessible to the players so we can see what missions / difficulties the game thinks we have completed? Here Higgs replied and said, lots of thought. So to me that's just confirmation that that's a feature coming. Another issue brought up by Death for the Dead was about the white flashing on the Xbox Series X. I know some of you guys have mentioned that in the comments about my footage or whatever, that every once in a while I get that flashing. Here Higgs said they basically haven't found a 100% fix for it yet, but he said the good news is we think we have a possible band-aid fix, and once we prove it out, we'll patch it in. The second category, again I labeled may work on, may be added in the future. Here Desnev asked about difficulty. He said, are you planning on doing changes to the way difficulties work? Right now it feels like recon is mandatory for higher difficulties. Here Zinc replied and said, we're constantly looking to the community for feedback on how all aspects of the game balance are working. Difficulties are one of the things that we review on a regular basis. Keep the feedback coming, it definitely helps drive our discussions. Now the final category is not coming, or they're not planning to work on it. The first thing they addressed was modding. Here a user asked, will Cold Iron prevent us from modding AFE, even mods that aren't intended to affect any other players? Here they replied and said, we have seen some nice mods created by the community, but we've also gotten a lot of complaints about people who unintentionally end up playing with modded players. Like many of you have mentioned, we don't have a mod development toolkit. This means we can't tell a good mod from a bad mod. It also means that we can't ensure that, as we continue to update the game, we can support the mods and the changes they made to save files going forward. As modding becomes more prevalent, we want to give folks the heads up that if you have modded your game, it may be at the risk of compromising your save file, and Cold Iron can't guarantee we can keep it valid enough to play the game. So I guess mod at your own risk. Another user, Sean Silt, asked about armor customization. Will we see armor customization too? Answer, we are focused on adding additional kit skins, and some of the ones coming out soon are pretty out there compared to what we have now. Aliens fans should feel real comfortable in some of the new outfits. So the answer would be no. And my guess is they're probably not going to add that just because right now that's the monetization model for this game. That's how they're funding these updates, is by selling the cosmetics or Endeavor Season Pass. And the final feature, I kind of lost it in the dev Q&A here, that they said no to, was being able to pause the game in solo play so that xenomorphs aren't chewing your face off. And basically Higgs said the game wasn't set up that way, and in order to add that would take a lot of development time, so they're not going to be doing that. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Are you excited about more Aliens Fireteam Elite? Are you excited about the direction of the game? What do you think about the answers they gave here? Let me know in the comments below. For me, I'm excited about the future of Aliens Fireteam Elite. I think they're doing a really good job developing this game. They must live off of Rockstar and Candy or something, because they've done a really good job just patching this game and getting it to where it needs to be, adding quick play, etc. I'm a little nervous about them not adding campaign maps or horde maps, or at least not having it on the roadmap. I think that'll magically appear on the roadmap here in the next couple weeks, because like I said earlier, the community was like, hey, we want maps, where's more campaign missions? It seems that's where the community really wants it. Even if this new game mode is like Horde in Aliens Fireteam has a limited play value, because once you played it once or twice, it isn't like you're moving around the map. It literally is, you're a turtle in this one spot and they're coming at you. It's a lot of fun. I liked unlocking the different armor skins and the weapon skin, etc., but there's really no reason to go back and replay it. Now, will this new game mode that's coming out in the next couple months here, what kind of replayability is it going to have? I guess we'll have to wait and see.